Hi guys, and welcome back to Mangotology. If you're new here, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Steven Mango, and I'm an ex-Scientologist that works here on YouTube to expose Scientology. So if you want to stay up to date on all my videos, please make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button, as well as turn on your bell notification so you get notified whenever I release a new video exposing Scientology. So today's video is part one of a two-part video that I am doing on Shelly Miscavige, her disappearance, and the current whereabouts of Shelly. Now, if you've been following me and my channel for a while, you know that I've been asking and inquiring and educating you guys about Shelly Miscavige since I believe the year 2013 or 2014. I believe I started filming my very first video, which you guys have all probably saw. If not, go check it out. It's my 2.5-hour story about Scientology. It's called Inside the Scientology Celebrity Center, an ex-parishioner reveals all. It's all about my personal story inside Scientology, so if you're interested in hearing about me and my journey in Scientology, that video is down below on my channel. It's the very first video I uploaded. And in that documentary, around, I would say, the 2-hour mark, because it is a very long video, I did ask and present to you the question, where's Shelly? And ever since then, I have been getting hundreds, I would say, of emails and messages and journalists and people wondering all the time, asking me, like, where's Shelly? Like, do you have any indication besides what we all know from what the public has been presented with in the media and stuff like that? Again, guys, I wasn't in the C organization. I wasn't on staff. I was a public member, but I was a public member who was very privy to the inner workings of Scientology since I was being groomed in Scientology. I was one of their poster boys for Celebrity Center and the International Association of Scientologists. So I didn't personally meet Shelly when I was in Scientology, unfortunately, because she was going missing or was missing at the time that I was actually involved in Scientology. So this is a two-part video. In this video today, we are going to be looking at a very interesting piece of the puzzle. I've been doing a lot of research for you guys. This is a highly requested video on Shelly, so we're going to be presenting this information and we are going to have a bit of a discussion, if you will, because this is involving a possible affair that David Miscavige is having and why Shelly may have been sent to the hole and may have been disposed of in Scientology. So this information, again, is from Tony Ortega's blog, but it is coming from a woman by the name of Valerie Haney. Now, I don't know if you guys know about Valerie, but Valerie was on Leah Remini's Scientology in the Aftermath, and she escaped Scientology's gold base in the trunk of a car. And she had a very personal story with her time in Scientology, as well as working very closely with David Miscavige and Shelly Miscavige, as well as she's currently now Leah Remini's personal assistant. She actually filed the lawsuit that I told you guys about in my last video. So again, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And it goes into all the details about a lawsuit that was filed against David Miscavige in the Church of Scientology, alleging all of the horrible things that have happened to Valerie, such as kidnapping, such as forced labor, such as abuse. And because of Valerie's close connection to Shelly Miscavige, she may be getting deposed in this lawsuit, which will be very interesting to see if Shelly's going to have to open up under oath on record and have to testify about what she knows about the abuses that her own friend Valerie has encountered and experienced. So Valerie, as we are going to be talking about, she was very close to David Miscavige and Shelly. She was a personal steward of David Miscavige. So when she's working so closely and intimately to David Miscavige, I believe that Valerie is the one person that knows all of the privy details, I guess you can say, about David Miscavige, given her proximity to where she'd be bringing him his meals, to the way that she would be involved in, his personal space. This is someone who's going to actually know very deep details about David Miscavige. So this lawsuit is really, in my opinion, going to blow the lid off of everything because of what Valerie knows. So I want to read to you some different quotes that Valerie has provided in her only interview, and we're going to be talking about how this is all tying in to Shelly Miscavige, what she knows about Shelly, and why David Miscavige having this affair may have something to do with it. So if you're interested, then keep on watching. Okay guys, I am here with some of my screenshots of some different quotes and information for you guys. So let's just start digging right on into it, and then we're going to discuss. As a steward to Shelly and Dave, she had been with them almost constantly and in their private quarters where she's usually the only other person around. The implication of Tuesday's show when she actually appeared on Scientology in the aftermath was that she simply knew too many embarrassing private details about Dave to ever leave the base. But David Miscavige actually wasn't letting Valerie leave. She would try to put in different CSWs, I would believe would be the proper way that you would go about try to get time off, or in terms of doing like a routing form to leave the base. Of course, they're not going to let her go, and why I believe that Shelly isn't going to ever leave if she actually is being held at CST headquarters, which is the Church of Spiritual Technology, which is right outside in the mountain deserts of Scientology's like main base. There's like another like little secretive base that holds like the trademarks of Scientology, and a lot of the detailed, deep information about Scientology is at that special little secret base. So I believe if Shelly is being held against her will, that's where she is. If not, I believe she's actually dead. And I've been saying that for 5-6 years. I don't like to make such a big claim that someone's passed away if they haven't, but you guys ask. You guys ask my opinion, and I honestly don't believe she's living right now. I'm not laughing about that like right now, like I'm giggling, whatever, but that's not because of this like sort of serious situation, but it's just to say that, you know, it's just ridiculous. It's crazy, and it's something that I'm not going to back down speaking out about, because this is something of someone's life that if I could bring enough attention to this and to continuously ask where's Shelly, Scientology is going to eventually have to account for something. That's why I think this lawsuit is also so great. So let's continue to read. So what exactly does David Miscavige not want the public to know that Valerie knows? So this is actually very interesting given Scientology's history. That he drank every night. It kind of got worse as the hole was forming in 2004, and I knew how much he drank. I gave him his meals, I made his bed, I woke him up in the morning, I knew everything about their private lives. Like that they maybe had intercourse once a year, if that. I worked with them for 3 years, and I recognized twice that they had intercourse, and Shelly was just blanked up about it. I was a very blank person, and I would have intercourse with my husband every night and then tell her, I mean, we're girlfriends. That's what Valerie was saying, that she was sleeping with her husband, but knowing Shelly very intimately, her and David weren't actually making love. I'm making this PG for YouTube, guys. I'm trying my best. And she said Shelly hated it because he was not affectionate to her. Even in close quarters, he wasn't showing her affection. I'm in the living room, and I'm the only one standing there with them, and it's Christmas. There's no warm embrace. There's no kiss. Now, as you guys know, in Scientology, I know from my personal experience in Scientology, and you guys know if you know my story without sounding like a broken record, I would be afraid to even take a Tylenol. I wouldn't take a Benadryl. I wouldn't take nasal allergy spray. I thought everything was a drug that was going to alter my beingness in such a way that I wasn't going to be able to attain spiritual enlightenment in Scientology. And the only way I was going to attain my spiritual freedom was to be completely clean, organic, like you don't even want to eat like a lean cuisine microwave meal because you don't want the plastic or the type of container when it's in the microwave to actually cook the chemicals of the plastic tray into the food, like, or the preservatives that are in those type of meals. I'm telling you guys, like, that's how paranoid you have to be. You wouldn't want to have a bag of Rolled Gold pretzels or something that I would like to eat, because you would think that, you know, because of the different processed ingredients, like all these different things are going to be storing in your body, and you're not going to be able to achieve this type of exteriorization from your physical body if your body is holding a lot of toxins and drugs and alcohol and all the horrible things. You have to do different, besides the purification rundown, you have to do a drug rundown. There's OT drug rundowns, like on the OT levels. I believe OT2 or OT3 possibly is like a special drug rundown. And then later on, you're handling different drugs on the whole track. So that is every moment of your existence for like billions of years, you have to handle the charge, and you have to handle like, oh, when I was riding a horse in the Civil War, I don't know like what war it would be, whatever, the Civil War in my last lifetime, I remember I swigged some scotch late at night after I got off my horse in battle. Like, I don't know if that would be something that would happen in the war, but whatever. Like, and then you would remember that, even if it's fake, obviously, you know, it depends on if you believe in past lives or not, but you have to run out these incidents according to your whole, every moment of existence, from moment one of Jesus walking on the planet or whoever to being, or like the Big Bang or whatever you think, to current. Today is July 10th, and every moment of that existence, you have to go back and run out the drugs. So that's how serious Scientology views drugs and alcohol. So for David Miscavige to be the leader of the church, and keep in mind also, David Miscavige is not OT8 in his own religion. He doesn't trust anyone enough to audit him, and I think that's very interesting. The person who's leading Scientology hasn't even done Scientology's whole bridge. How could that be? I know he thinks in his own egotistical, narcissistic way like he's bigger and better, and he's OT just by leading Scientology, but it's like, wouldn't you think that if you're leading the church, you want to experience every level that the church has to offer? If you really believe L. Ron Hubbard is the true savior of our planet, wouldn't you at least do all of his levels as outlined? There has to be someone that could audit him in RTC, or someone that could at least give him OT7 and OT8 at the minimum. I think he did OT7, maybe not. I don't know. I just know that for David Miscavige to not even have done the whole Scientology bridge, don't you guys think that's weird? I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, it's clearly, when we're also, I'm just talking out loud to you guys about this, that's why I think he knows Scientology is a scam, because he would do the levels. He would go through and he'd be studying Scientology. Now, maybe something's changed since the last couple years, but from the last people who have left Scientology from upper management have said that David Miscavige has not completed his OT level. So I just think that's very interesting. So this is also another point about Shelly and Dave that is going to go into the main point of today's video, being the affair. So she, being Shelly, had a separate room. They had a bedroom, but she had a dressing room where she could unwind and smoke. Again, I don't know why so many Scientologists smoke. They believe like you shouldn't take any sort of mild over-the-counter pill, but then you could smoke when smoking has so many bad chemicals and horrible things. L. Ron Hubbard smoked, so that's a justification. They say you, or L. Ron Hubbard says you get lung cancer because you don't smoke enough. Crazy. And she would talk with me about Dave, sometimes for hours. So here we go. She was jealous of Larice Henley Smith, Miscavige's personal communicator, also known as Lou. She would ask me, are they having intercourse? Can you find out? But they weren't. It would be impossible for me not to know. So maybe at that time, speculatively, they weren't maybe having some type of intercourse. Maybe they were, maybe... Of course, people are adults. They can find ways to do it around someone else if they really wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure if Valerie was going to run on some sort of errand, they could go and bang and do whatever they want to do in their bedroom. But again, for the communicator to always be around Dave, or David Miscavige, however you want to refer to him as. I don't like to refer to him as a nickname as Dave. It makes him sound too casual, and David Miscavige is like the proper name for him because he's just evil. Like, Dave just sounds like a nice guy next door. Like, hey Dave. Like, I don't call him Dave, but they said the other thing Dave doesn't want you to know is extravagance in his finances and his schedule and how much differently he spends his day than everyone around you. I just think also, just with this communicator, guys, why would Shelly be so paranoid about it if there wasn't some sort of indication of why she should be? Let me tell you about his normal day. He would wake up at 11 a.m. He would go into his room. That was an office, and do traffic. That was all of the submissions that had come in overnight, people asking for his approval on things. He had to get approval on everything. 12 to 12:30 they had breakfast. Shelly had her own office, but she always wanted to eat with them. He would talk to Lou the entire time, and he would bring food for all of them. Then at midnight, he'd go to his lounge and have scotch with Lou. Interesting. So with his personal communicator, they're drinking scotch. Shelly didn't like him drinking. Well, because if she believes in Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard, drinking, alcohol, or just drugs in general are the worst thing that you can ever do. So of course she probably didn't if she believes in it, but David Miscavige, I think, is just involved in Scientology for the power aspect of it. And she tried to keep me from giving him alcohol to hide it. This would be nightly. He would drink scotch, smoke, and talk to Larice. I was there, so I know that they didn't F. I was in the room. So I just think it's very, again, for Valerie to come out and escape Scientology and even be telling us about this information. Maybe there's still something that she doesn't know. Maybe something's happened since she's left. We don't know. But then things got worse. On the free runs, he denigrated Shelly in front of the other executives. She was crying in her room. The next year, 2005, things got worse and worse. Shelly was pissed off all the time. Dave was raging at everyone day after day except for Laurice. He had nothing for Shelly, so she was crying every night. She snapped at him a couple of times. "Oh, you're going with Laurice like that." Dave and Shelly reached a breaking point, but it was Valerie and the other workers in their proximity who felt the effects of it. Everyone connected to Shelly was busted. I was removed and got put on decks, hard labor digging ditches, and Shelly was separated from Dave, and they were no longer together. And if you guys remember as well, Shelly tried to drive and she left the base and she tried to reconnect with David Miscavige after all of this sort of stuff was going down. So let's just continue. So Valerie started actually getting checked around this time. So the security checks are interrogations, and they were asking Valerie, right around this time, they were asking her and interrogating her about Shelly. Has Shelly said anything, they asked? They were investigating me and another girl. I think they were gathering information before they were going to investigate Shelly herself. So the very first thing that happened that David Miscavige got so upset about with Shelly was that while he was gone, she rearranged the org board and gave people different posts and shift them around to different positions in management. So when David Miscavige came back and tried to look at the org board or whatever, or however he found out, and noticed that people's posts were changed and Shelly kind of mixed things up, that's when he had his big Titanic meltdown. Then the second thing that also upset David Miscavige was Shelly. They were doing some form of renovation, and Shelly actually moved David's stuff out of the room because they were doing some form of renovation. And once he got wind of this, that's when Shelly basically just disappeared and went missing. I saw her walk to the car, get in on the passenger side, and then drive away. It was 2.5 months after I'd been busted. She never saw Shelly again. And then once Shelly actually was left from, or she was disappeared from base, this is kind of like the reaction of others who were also at the international base. They would say she must have betrayed him, she must have done something, she's treasonous, Dave must have had good reason, but mostly people didn't dare talk about it at all. And after Shelly was gone, Miscavige spent even more time with his personal communicator, Laurice. She was with him every single second. That wasn't the case before. Did Valerie suspect that something was going on between them at that point? Yes, but I can't prove anything, she says. Now, something else that's also of topic of conversation, I guess, is Shelly used to like to go out a lot, and she was also very fashionable. She liked to dress up into nice gowns and stuff like that. But David Miscavige had her more secluded and punished, and it was the type of thing where I feel like with Scientology, if you guys know from one of my videos, it's called something along the lines of Scientology gave me a statement about Shelly, and it was with one of my old former friends who contacted Scientology via Twitter or something like that, and they started saying, well, Shelly's very private, she doesn't like to go out, she's on a special mission, she's not a public person. Well, she's the wife of Scientology's leader. I don't understand why she wouldn't be going out when she's known as being someone who likes to dress up and go out. And I'm not saying that Shelly needs to be a public personality. She doesn't have to be on Scientology's television network and hosting a show. But I think she does owe it to everyone who's wondering, people like myself, Leah Remini, Valerie, all these different people who have been inquiring about where's Shelly for years and years and years. I think she owes it to the public at large and to protect her religion. If she cares about Scientology so much, why wouldn't she want to protect its reputation? If people think Scientology killed her or is hiding her or made her disappear, I think that Shelly's the one who could kind of reverse the image of Scientology. If Shelly goes on camera and says, hey guys, I'm okay, I'm on some special mission, I don't want to be in the public eye, just so you guys know. Also, there are a lot of rumors about Scientology. Turn on DirecTV or get the Scientology app on your mobile phone. Learn the truth. You guys have heard all the rumors from people like Leah Remini, Steve Mango, all these people speaking out. You've heard the rumors. Now hear the truth. Watch us on Scientology's digital television network and know and learn what Scientology really is. Then it might confuse people. They'll say, oh, she actually is okay. Are these ex-Scientologists lying about everything? But at least then we know that Shelly's safe and okay. And in part 2 of the video of this, we're going to be actually looking at the lawsuit that Valerie filed, and we're going to be looking at two specific points that are gathering more information of Shelly's whereabouts and kind of talking about the legal side of what's going to happen if Shelly gets deposed. So again, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, turning on your bell notifications so you don't miss that video. I'm just really curious about if this affair that David Miscavige is having has anything to do with Shelly's disappearance in a way where he was getting so close with this communicator. Shelly was pissing him off in such a grand way that he just wanted her to disappear so then he could have maybe more private time with Lou, his personal communicator. Or maybe there was just something going on where, like, why wouldn't you just get a divorce then? But again, in Scientology, if you don't make your 2D, which is your second dynamic, which is your partner, if you don't, and you can't work it out and you get divorced, it's showing that Scientology is not working, because Scientology teaches you the tools to communicate with people. They teach you the tools on how to have a better marriage and relationship. And if the leader of the church is getting a divorce, for example, that's not going to look good. That's bad public relations. That's out PR for Scientology. So I think that maybe there is something to this. And I never, for some reason, I know that this isn't like the newest information, but again, guys, we have to piece together all the public information that we get and that I could pull together for you guys so that we can have a conversation. And if you guys find information, send it to me. And I feel like we're gonna actually find Shelly like down the street here in LA. Like, I would love that if I was able to, you know, discover where Shelly actually is. I mean, there's a couple different options, like we said. CST headquarters in the desert. She's, and I think also possible in another foreign country. She's maybe at like Australia.org or somewhere where there's no oversight like America is having over Shelly and like under the public eye of other people. They put her in some foreign country where no one would ever recognize her. She's in some org and she never leaves there. Or she's dead. You know, he killed her in a rage. He, obviously, from how we have seen this, David Miscavige isn't someone who is level-headed. He's drinking, he's hot-headed, and he blows up at his staff. He has them licking the floor and the whole, putting people in double-wide trailers for years and years and years, you know, punishing them and abusing them and putting 100 people in one room as executives and beating them in interrogations. And I think that it wouldn't be out of character for him to bury Shelly somewhere on the international base. But with this lawsuit, which we're going to be talking about, is what if she's going to get deposed? Well, the issue is then going to be about if they're going to be able to serve her. And there's a lot of different elements to that which we'll cover. But I just wanted to share this whole David Miscavige affair thing because I think this is also what could have led up or is leading up to Shelly and her whereabouts. Because if he is having an affair with Lou, it could be very well what set things into that negative spiral to where he wants to maintain his relationship maybe with this communicator that he has, and he wants to banish Shelly so there's no interference of his relationship and his drinking buddy and communicator Lou. So I'm curious, what does Lou actually know about Shelly's disappearance? Again, she's still in. We don't know if she would ever be someone that would be deposed. I think that's also something for the lawyers to keep in mind. Why don't they depose the communicator? Clearly, if Valerie's alleging all this different abuse has happened to her, then of course, if she's working for David Miscavige and Shelly, and David's communicator is Larisse, why wouldn't she then get pulled into this lawsuit? So I'm really curious what she actually knows about the whereabouts of Shelly. So if they can't depose Shelly, maybe they could depose Lou. That's something that I think that people need to keep in mind as well. Also, guys, without going any further into this, because I presented all the information we have, I'm not going to speculate further. I want to hear what you guys possibly think. But again, I don't know. It's just to the point where it's frustrating, but I'm just going to keep making these videos, keep talking about Shelly. There's other topics that we're going to be making videos on. I don't want this just to be a Where's Shelly channel, because there's a lot of other aspects of Scientology that I've been wanting to talk about. But when I came across this information and the lawsuit, I really wanted to make it a priority to talk about it at this point in time, since it is public interest and something that could really help us piece together the story of Where's Shelly and what's happening to her. So stay tuned for part 2 of this video, guys, if you're interested more in the saga that is Shelly Miscavige. I also want to let you guys know that I'm going to be at VidCon tomorrow, which is Thursday, July 11th, I believe. Yes. And I'm going to be there through Saturday, and I'm going by myself. My husband Jeff will be here with the dogs. But if you guys see me, if you're going to VidCon, maybe I'll do a meetup if you guys have any interest, or a dinner. I don't know if any of you guys will be in the Anaheim, California area in the next 2-3 days. I just thought it would be a fun way to maybe connect with other ex-Scientologists. And again, I'm going to talk about this on my drama channel if I do a drama video today. Maybe not, but I'm thinking about possibly having a meetup. If you guys are just going for fun, whatever, if you guys see me there, please say hi, and I will be happy to chat with you guys, answer your questions about Scientology and all that fun stuff. You guys can send me an email maybe if you're going, and I will try to maybe arrange a little time where I can meet up with a couple of you guys if time permits. And I also was just in Palm Springs with Jeff. Again, I keep all my personal updates at the end of the video so you guys can hear about me if you guys are interested. I was with Jeff in Palm Springs over my birthday. It was nice, not amazing in terms of they didn't give us like a great room at this hotel, and it kind of, last year we stayed at the same hotel. It was better then, and it was like really nice, and then like this year was kind of like, oh, like I wouldn't have even picked to stay again for this year if it was like how it was this time last time, if that makes any sense. It was still nice. I'm not going to complain about it. It was just nice to get away for a few days and have some time with my spouse and, you know, just kind of relax. I had a lot of anxiety, like almost having panic attacks, because I don't know, I've just been kind of having a tough time, but it's like I'm great in some ways, but in other ways, like I'm still struggling with my life. Like, say for example, money improves, then something else will go down. Like all of a sudden I don't talk to, or I have a breakup with a friend or something. Like it'll be like one thing gets better and one thing gets worse. So I'm having kind of struggles with that. I'll make another video with my personal updates, I guess. I just wanted to tell you guys really quickly since this video is about something more serious. And I don't know, I'll give you guys a more proper like update on me, my mental health, what's going on with Scientology, and all of that in the next couple days. I'm going to be filming my part 2 right after this. I think I'm going to be uploading it tomorrow, which is Wednesday, July 11th, if my schedule permits, or maybe Thursday. I don't know, guys, but stay tuned for that, and then I'll probably be making another video next week, since I'll be away and I'm not going to have my camera and filming and everything like that. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to follow me at stevenmango on Twitter and on Instagram. Watch my Instagram stories. I'll be at VidCon, and just in general, I like to post different things when I don't necessarily want to sit down and film a video. I like to chat with you guys. I do Q&As there, so please add me on social media if you want to keep up with me in that regard. Anyways, guys, I'm just rambling at this point. Have a great week, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.